You're still watching the program this morning on ITV. It's now time for our first discussion. This time around, we shall be looking at the build-up to the 2023 presidential election. It's a season of declaration, and so many persons, the big wings in politics, have already come out to declare their interest to run for presidency come 2023. The lists are already there for the public to see. We remember first was the chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, that's the APC party. Bola Tinubu was at the presidential villa where he made his intention known to the president that he was going to run. And before now there were speculations and permutation if Tinubu will actually contest for the position come 2023. The governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, is also on the race. We have so many of them. The former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Pius Ayim Pius, is there. Orji Kalu, also a former governor in Abia State, is also vying for that position. And we are already seeing them declaring what they intend to do for the country if they finally get their party ticket. But to look at all this and look at the aspirants who have declared so far, I have in the studio this morning Mr. Samuel Eke. He is a politician and a political analyst. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Dominic.
Yes, let's look at the first declaration, or from the very beginning where we start having this permutation of who is going to be declaring for 2023. We saw how it was with the policy when Tinubu came out to declare. It was not like Nigerians did not expect it, but he was not, his body language, many persons felt he was not being straightforward from the very beginning.
Thank God, let me borrow your word. He was not being straightforward. That's your word. But it was hasty. It was something that is not expected from a leader of such magnitude in the party. You see, it's democracy we are talking about here. We are talking about the people. If you want to govern the people will yearn for you to come and govern them. You shouldn't be too hasty. To me, he didn't need that kind of words. A kingmaker would also want to be a king, all those kind of words. It was something we shouldn't expect from such a leader. We respect his position. He has the right to run. Every Nigerian who is qualified has the right to run. But in doing this, please, we should do it with decorum and see if the people will be the ones who present you. Because if you present yourself, you might end up...
At this early stage, we know that the people may not have much to say in this area, but your antecedents should be able to speak for you, even as you make your declarations.
Let me not talk more on his declaration. He is not the only one who have intention to run. You have a lot of names springing up. But I can tell you, the party, in his wisdom, will present someone who would unify the country, someone who is competent, someone who would not have any issues surrounding any kind of corrupt issues, someone who will be sellable to Nigerians, and someone that would make sure the party wins election again. In doing that...
Well, we are not looking at just the party.
I know. In doing that, someone cannot just run and present itself. A lot of permutations will go in. The opposition also would also do the same. You heard in the opposition somebody was talking about Atiku, that his age is no longer fashionable. A sitting governor. If a sitting governor would talk of an Atiku that his age is no longer fashionable to be president. Let's talk about the ruling party that has a lot to offer Nigerians to continue from where the present administration stopped. I think the party will sit down, look into everybody's credentials, capacity, acceptance, and at the end of the day, I believe the president will also add his own thought to who succeeds him.
Okay, let's look at the antecedents of these aspirants, both from the ruling party and the opposition parties. Let's look at what make them stand out. You feel at this point that they are making the declarations, Nigerians are already looking at the prospect of having probably a good leader come 2023. Do you see these persons declaring as capable of taking over from the president out of this?
Out of the names we are seeing coming out individually to seek Nigerians' attention that they want to run. To me, Nigerians are also making their own kind of suggestion. Let's look at the person of the vice president. He has not come out to declare his intention yet. But Nigerians are yearning that, oh, if the APC miss it this time with the person of the vice president, it will be a hard nut to crack. Look at the vice president. You see groups everywhere springing up. Groups like NCG, other groups, you can name them, Osibanjo, Solidarity Forum. I've been watching the news lately, and I found that there's a group called NCG everywhere in the country, moving from one place to the other, saying that the vice president must run, must represent Nigerians because he is competent, he has the intellect, he is accepted, he is a perfect gentleman, there's loyalty, he is a Nigerian president. If presented, he would represent Nigerians. He would not represent an ethnic group. He would not represent any section. So these are the kind of persons I think Nigerians are yearning for. I don't know what people who have ambition, a lot of people have personal ambition, why they have it, what they want to do with it, and how they will serve the people with it. But when we look at that perfect gentleman called Professor Yemi Osibanjo, I am saying it categorically, if the ruling party miss such a man to be the next president, the ruling party has missed a lot.
We are not trying to sell any candidates on this program. What we're doing is we're just trying to do an analysis of what
I understand.
On boards to bring for Nigerians, because some persons are saying it's not too early for us to start having this declaration.
It is not.
It's not too early. Now let's look at the body language of the president.
Yeah.
When Tinubu visited, we have not had the president come out to say anything about who's going to succeed him from those who have been visiting. He has not really come out to say anything. Is it the same tactics, the delay tactics, or no? When do we start getting the president's blessing?
Yeah, the president have come out and said, well, if I'll hand over, if I tell you the person I'll hand over to, they will kill him. Have you said so? I've heard something like that. The spokesman to the president came out that the APC will hand over to an APC government. That's if Nigerians will accept the next candidate. So, the president is the president of Nigeria. You don't expect the president of Nigeria to start pushing body language now. You have governance in place. People want to see more activities of government in their various areas. The president is busy with the issues of governing Nigeria. So he is not interested in what people are doing presently. So he is not ready to push his weight behind anybody for now. That's what I think.
So, but what about the politicians? Would they be...
No, politics begins from the day a man is sworn in. Preparation for the next election starts 4 years before the election. So politicians have been politicking since May 29, 2019. So what you are seeing now, it's the build up to 2023. Every politician is coming out to show that, oh, I have been doing this. It's now we are seeing them physically. But they have been going around the country, sampling opinions and making sure that they present themselves to Nigerians. And I think it's not new. It's something that has been there over the years.
But do we have this PDP? Let's look at the PDP this time, or maybe the opposition party, so we don't try to publicize the particular party here. Do you think they have a strong hold? Because we've seen some persons coming out already from the ruling party. We already know where it might swing to if the president finally gives his blessing, even though he has said he's not going to say that today or tomorrow. But let's look at the aspirants from the opposition party. Did they have that strength to swing power?
You see, I don't want to talk negatively on the PDP, but I will say this clearly. The PDP, as we speak, they now have not gotten it right as an opposition.
Looking at all the aspirants.
Looking at all the aspirants and the activities of the party, they have not presented themselves as an opposition party that is ready to take over power in 2023. So, what are we discussing? The other day I was watching in a station and I found out that they still have a serious internal. They don't even have someone to present yet. You don't see, apart from the man who have run for president since 1992, who is still thinking of running again in the PDP. Nobody. The names you are hearing, are they prepared to be presidents? Will Nigerians accept them? It's not about them now having aspiration. It's about Nigerians accepting them. How many Nigerians in the PDP are shouting, oh, Mr. A in the PDP must be president? Nigerians are not doing that. And you can find out that the governors and the leadership of the opposition have not in any way spoken like an opposition party. So I think they are just there waiting to see what APC might take the day when it comes to the election in 2023.
When we look at the regions where these aspirants are coming out from, it's the present situation in the APC or in the ruling party trying to zone the zoning. The zoning has already been a question of debates. And do you think this can also be applicable? Can there be a consensus that, okay, let's have all candidates coming from one zone? For instance, if the ruling party is deciding to shift power to the southern part of the country, should all the candidates come from that zone, or would the party allow other zones or maybe other geopolitical zones like the north to also put in candidates?
This zoning thing, it's not written anywhere. But it seems it's a gentleman agreement between the north and the south. Since the Fourth Republic came in, we have practiced this zoning. Somehow we have practiced it. You have Obasanjo from the south, you have Yaradua from the north, you have Jonathan from the south, now you have President Buhari from the north. For equity, for us to have harmony in this country, it's good power will shift to the south. When it gets to the south, the southerners will decide on who represent them, on both parties. I hear people in the opposition, some of them say, no, the last president from their party is from the south, so if they should leave it open. But for fairness, I would love that every political party zone its presidency to the south for now, since the north have had its 80 years share.
So what about the issue of merits of somebody who is supposed to perform?
The issue
why are we not looking at that aspect?
We are looking at it. In every local government in this country, every ward you have a competent person who will be president of Nigeria. In every local government, I'm not even talking about the 2 regions. You have somebody who will be accepted, you have somebody who is competent, you have somebody who can pilot the affairs of Nigeria. So, because of our uniqueness, the diversity we have in the country, it's better for now we should maintain this zoning arrangement. It will help us. In the near future, we can start talking, oh, let's leave it open for all Nigerians. But for now, it's good.
Power so are you saying that if we have credible persons from a region, supposedly, for instance, let's say the North is still ruling, and if we have somebody who can take Nigeria to where it wants in the next years, are we saying we should not vie in for those people because of a zoning system?
One thing is that Nigerians will decide, but for equity, Nigeria, you know, we have a lot of sentiment.
But since it's not captured in the constitution.
Yes, that's why it's a gentleman arrangement. It's better power will shift to the south for now to allow for balancing in the system. So it's better power goes to the south for now.
But it means the constitution has no place to play when it comes to the issue of Nigerian politics.
Politics, governance and politics is 2 different things. Politicians have their way of taking some political decisions without a written agreement. So, I think for now, let power go to the south. It will be better for the country and it will help the country.
Let's go back to the aspirants so far. We've seen that for years now, people have been clamoring that youth should be at the forefront of leadership in the country, and we've not seen them play their part. As the declarations are on, nobody from that age we call the youths have actually declared interest to run for presidency.
Yes.
Is it so soon for us to start seeing that?
It's not so soon either, and I've not seen any Nigerian youth who is ready to take leadership for now. Yes, leadership must not be the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We urge Nigerian youths to go to their various wards, their various local governments, their various federal constituencies, state constituencies, and vie for positions. You must not come in as a first-timer in politics and say, oh, I want to be president. You don't even know the intrigues of governance. You don't know anything about politics. So what we urge Nigerian youths to do is to participate in the process.
So what makes you acceptable when you try to vie for a position like this as a young man? Or
yes, as an individual, as a young person, you must do things that the people would accept you from your various communities, from your localities, from your town unions, from your villages, from your clan, from your homes. First of all, you have not contributed anything to human development in your place and you want to lead them. The people will reject you. So we urge you to be part of everything that would improve the life of humanity in their various environment. That is one. Secondly, make sure you participate in the process, get your voter's card, be a member of a political party, have your say in that political party, contribute your own quota, and see if you can also represent your people. That's where you start from. You don't start from the top. It's a bottom-top approach. So when you hear, oh, there's no youth, as we speak, a lot of youths who are part of the process are councillors in their place. They are councillors. You can find youths as state members, State House of Assembly. You can find youths as local government chairmen, commissioners, because they participated in the process. So it's something you grow into. You don't start running. You start from crawling, you know. It's a gradual process. So youth shouldn't come and say they want to be president when they don't have any antecedent to show that, yes, they can handle the volume of responsibility that will become.
We just hope that we'll get it right, because right from when I was a child, we keep hearing youths are the leaders of tomorrow, but as an adult, we're still waiting for the chance that the youth will become the leaders of tomorrow. But let's look at the electoral process. For instance, the FCT election is just by the corner. And because of our program, when in the beginning of this program, we made known to Nigerians that so many persons are not aware of the election due to lack of information in the FCT, for instance. Now, registrations are ongoing. Some persons have not really gone out to do the registration. Now we are having aspirants declaring for elections. Some persons will tell you elections at the polling unit doesn't count when it comes to selecting leaders in Nigeria. But INEC has come out to debunk that severally your vote counts if you protect your votes. Do we start now campaigning, or do we start now mobilizing people to go out to register to get their voters card? Or at what point do we start sensitizing Nigerians on how to safeguard their votes?
Let me start with the FCT election. The FCT election, the process of the FCT election have started close to a year ago. And electorates in the FCT are aware that there will be election on the 12th of February in the FCT. And various political parties are participating in the process. Campaigns are going on from various quarters.
Well, you may be aware, but probably you are.
No. I want to explain the issue of low participation, apathy in the process. The truth is, the National Orientation Agency that is responsible is a government agency that is responsible in creating awareness. I think it's not doing enough.
So what does the political party do?
INEC also, no, I would come there. INEC also, that is trying its best, might have issues of funding for publicity. Then the political parties are the ones galvanizing, mobilizing, because votes would decide. If anybody is telling you that votes don't count, I have participated in elections in FCT, and I can tell you, votes in FCT counts. Nobody can rig an election in the FCT. There's no way you can do it. The people are aware, the people will come out, the people will protect their votes, they will follow the votes from the polling unit to the ward, from the ward to the local government collation center, down to the state collection center. That's how it works here. So the election on 12th of February, we might not have the kind of turnout we have in the presidential election, because a lot of people feels, oh, their concern is who becomes the president. But they don't know that the closest government to them is the government at the local government, at the area councils. That's the government that is close to them. That's the person they can assess. That's the government that decides most of their day-to-day activities, like the markets, the tenement rates, and so on. Some levies they pay, some taxes they pay. The government at the local government or the area council decide most of their fate. But they don't know. I think it's part of what the National Orientation Agency will make sure that Nigerians are aware of, so that they can shape the future of area council elections in Nigeria.
But let's look at the registration. INEC actually have stopped registration in the FCT.
Yeah.
Because the election is already close by. do we have this mechanism to ensure that people are well captured? Because just like you rightly said, INEC is doing its best to ensure that people come out. The rights agency, the NOA, like you said, have not really done enough to mobilize people. How the registration, do we keep doing it, or we wait when we are approaching election periods, or what should be the right process?
Registration should be a continuous exercise. It shouldn't be an exercise whereby it's only when election is coming close that INEC will open up a portal for people to register. Registration should be a continuous, on a daily basis, because someone becomes 18 every day. So for that reason, INEC should also open that portal that someone will be registered every day. But I have a problem with the internet registration INEC have introduced. Previously, when election is coming close, INEC do what they call continuous voters registration, and you have centers where people line up, queue up to register, to revalidate their registration in case they have damaged cards or issues with their transfer. But as we speak, that is not done. In the last few months, and FCT is having an election. Not everybody is literate on the internet. Not everybody can use the internet. So some persons will be disenfranchised. So moving forward, I would want INEC to make these things open both to literates and non-literates alike. So that's what I want INEC to do. So that would even cause voters apathy, because a lot of people would do it in the internet. They would not move further to the local government registration area to get their cards or do otherwise. So we advise INEC to also make it open the way they used to make it open. The highest they will do is to create a budget for continuous registration, at least at the ward level, not at the local government level. At the ward level, people should have where they will go physically and be captured and register. The internet thing is not actually doing what it ought to do. That's my own view. The internet thing should be there, and the physical capture should also be there at every ward. If INEC does not have finances to do that, they should approach the National Assembly to create a budget for that.
All right, as we wrap up this discussion segment, what's your final, let's say, your advice to Nigerians as we look forward to 2023 and these aspirants? How should they be able to examine each and every one of them to make the right choice?
As we go close to 2023, I want Nigerians to look at the future of this nation, to look for someone who is competent, who have capacity, someone who is acceptable, someone who is creative, someone who is intellectually sound, someone who have the strength, physically fit to become Nigerian president. And I want Nigerians to rally around such a person. Even when the person is not saying, I'm going to run, make sure you push for the person to represent you because he has capacity to do the job, not because you like the person's face. It's the man who can do the job. And in 2023, I don't want to call any candidate here, but I think the president should think about continuity. The president should see his vice as his to allow smooth governance and smooth handover in the country.
Ramos, thank you so much for your time.
Samuel
Eke is a politician and a political analyst. I will take a quick break here, and when we return, the program this morning on Night TV continues.